Mark Megan's Weekly Roast. Proudly supported by Cialis for Men. Struggling with erectile dysfunction? It's nothing to be ashamed of. Cialis for Men 10mg film-coated tablets, which contains tadalafil, is now available without prescription. Just a quick, discreet chat with your pharmacist, in person or online, can help. Find it at pharmacies nationwide or visit www.cialisformen.ie for more details. To be taken at least 30 minutes prior to anticipated sexual activity. Always read the label. GoLoud.
Back to the Weekly Roast. How's it going, guys? How the hell are you? How are your hearts? And of course, how are your heads? Guys, Mark Megan's Weekly Roast is proudly brought to you by Cialis for Men, helping you get and keep an erection whenever you need it. I am so happy to be working with a brand that will help men not just with their erections, but in realising that there is nothing to be embarrassed about. Nearly 3 in 10 males have experienced ED, but only 1 in 4 are comfortable discussing it. Let's change that. Cialis for Men is now available without prescription from pharmacies nationwide. All it takes is a quick chat with your pharmacist and you're off to the races. To be taken at least 30 minutes prior to anticipated sexual activity, contains tadalafil. Always read the label. Guys, how's it going? Mystery Mick, how's it going?
Hello, Mark. How are you?
I'm very well. How was your weekend?
My weekend was lovely, thank you.
Let's incorporate a bit of pre-show banter.
Let's get the preamble going. I went to a wedding. It was lovely.
I got a man arrested last night in a public place for wanking.
You were on Crime Stoppers. What the fuck happened?
Genuinely.
That was wild. Yeah, tell us everything.
I mean, I don't want to almost take too much of a comedic stance on it because it was depraved. I went out for a walk with Bert, our little goggy, and I was doing a lap of a park just beside the gaff in Castleknock, and as I came round the bend, I saw this old fella sitting on a bench, and I was like, it's so weird, by the way. Anybody who's been flashed before will know this. It's so weird how your eyes just instinctively get drawn to it, but also that you like immediately, it's like there's like an alarm bell that just automatically goes off. This is weird.
Yeah.
Even though I couldn't see anything yet, there was just a feeling of that's not normal life, whatever that man is doing. And then I can just see a rhythm. A rhythm of the wrists, which of course I'm not exactly a perfect stranger to, let's be honest, as a male with the limbs.
Yeah.
And I was like, surely not. And he had a black Labrador off the lead, sort of just pottering around him, which is the things that dog is saying.
Yeah, Jesus.
And as I got closer, I realised he was on the phone and he was going at himself.
Yeah.
And then as I walked by, he was saying into the phone, am I allowed to come? I swear on my life. I swear on my life. He was like, am I allowed to come? Like Bernard, the old choir teacher. Like, it was honestly, so I just immediately walked on and
I said no.
I was like, not yet, Bernard. let me tie Bertie to the wall. Avert your eyes, Bert. So I just walked on, called the guards, and then a neighbour walked by and she was like, hey, all right? And I was like, no, actually. And she was like, sorry? Like, oh, fuck, I have to take my AirPods out. He wants to chat. And she's like, what's wrong? I was like, see that man over there? He's having a wank. And she was like, oh, God. And then she looked over and lo and behold, he was. So, yeah, called the guards. And, yeah, quick as a flash, 3 hours later, they arrived in the scene and genuine, that was it. And, before people say to me, oh, you don't know what was going on, maybe he is blah, blah, blah. Yeah, maybe. But I'll tell you this thing. As soon as the Garda car came down Auburn Avenue, fucking quick as a flash, he was gone.
Yeah.
He started making a move. Now, it wasn't exactly, Usain Bolt, do you know what I mean?
Speed. It wasn't a high-speed chase.
No, they were able to reprimand him within 14 seconds, but still, one filth bag off the streets. And then as I put it up on Instagram, just me beside the guards, and aside from a couple of people going, you're very quick to judge there. You've no idea what's going on in his life. Well, he's wanking in public, Miriam. So I don't really care for this level of pseudo-liberalism wherein we have to give people the benefit of the doubt when they have their trousers down in an area populated by children. A little bit of common fucking sense, please.
Yeah.
You're literally siding with the dick and balls of a man who is exposing himself to Ireland's future generation. Good stuff. Please, some of these pseudo, and use the word pseudo because there's actually nothing liberal about them, and there's nothing liberal-minded about them. It's this like they're perpetually reaching for the contrarian, moronic. Let's just hold up the side. Let's just say the opposite thing.
Walk a mile in his shoes. No.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't. Wank a minute in his hands. Do you know? And anyway, so I got a few messages. Apparently the same guy was picked up by the guards at St. Bridget's GAA a week ago. So good luck and welcome back to the Weekly Roast. This is a family show. If you're out there, Bernard,
don't be out there.
Don't be, yeah. Get back inside, Bernard. Guys, you're very welcome to the Weekly Roast. The weeks are drawing close to the live show. Mark Megan's good stuff. I am in that final head down period of... It's going to be a very different live show to anything I've done before, and I'm trying to figure out... actually, no, I'm not even going to bore you with all of that noise. Nevertheless, welcome back to the Weekly Roast. It's great to be here. I'm here beside Mystery Mick. It's crazy teachers. Most of you, well... Judging by some of the Instagram replies, around half of you went to school, and we all encountered some odd people, sort of loco parentees, acting as our guidance. Just the teachers, really. They're all lunatics. Let's get into it. On y va. Okay.
Well, Mark, we're all in first year. We were like Monaghan or whatever. She was a dub. That makes a difference. So it was about 2 weeks in, she was giving out a bit the smell of BO for about 2 weeks. Then one day she came in and goes, right guys, lesson today is how to apply deodorant. She went on a good bit about having a bath or a wash or a shower every morning. Then whipped off the t-shirt, standing there in the bra, demonstrated the roll-on first, then demonstrated the spray. Said, okay guys, no excuses now. No need for any smell in the classroom going forward. But she was young enough, like, so you can imagine all the lads were buzzing. Talked about for, I'd say, a good couple of months. I think she done it with a few classes, wasn't just her class. To be fair, the smell in the classroom did greatly improve. But she also was not teaching in the school the following year. So, don't know if it's connected or not.
But there is a certain irony in a French person.
There is.
There is a, dare I say, derangement level of irony in a French person teaching the rest of us how to not fucking smell. Mon Dieu. I did 6 weeks in the south of France last year. I might as well have been snorting lines from the river Ganges for breakfast.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That looks healthy enough. You've seen those reels of the lads going for the swims in the Ganges. Good stuff. It's like the aquatic centre with less... No. Steady on, my boy. Very early for that sort of stuff. Okay, so let's just set the scene. And by the way, my friends, here's a little idea for you. Some people have gotten on to say that the voice notes are hard to hear because the voice changes. I completely hear you on this. So I'm thinking of adding a new section to the show. Let me know what you think. Mark Megan's dramatic readings, where basically people write in if they have the story but they're too afraid. Oh, I don't want to do the voice note because Susan from accounts might recognise me. Damien Muldowney, you're an accountant in KPM. No, I'm joking. He's not an accountant. He's not an accountant.
Yeah.
He works in HR. But anyway,
Is now fired.
Let's just remember the
Thanks, Mark.
roles here. Anyway, I'm joking. Anyway. I think we could do a dramatic reading section of the pod. Let me know what you think. If you enjoy it, we will do it. If you enjoy it, we deploy it. That's the sort of creative mantra we have around these parts. Nevertheless, French teacher... Okay, so she thinks that there's a smell in boys' classrooms. I completely agree. Once you go through puberty and you sort of enter a classroom, particularly if there'd been like a double period on, that's the word for 2 classes, by the way. In a boys' school, we're not... Okay, so
I'm just trying to give you one back now. Yeah, brilliant. Okay.
But if you walk into a classroom after a double period of guys, there's a smell that resembles sort of like Ryanair to Ibiza closing part, like this, there's
a must.
There's a heaviness to the air. So I can completely get behind a teacher saying, lads, we need to do something about deodorant, because I think that's, and I've said this before, but I'm going to make the point here again. I think it should be more acceptable to say to people, listen, the hygiene needs to improve.
100%.
And before people hit me with the old, it's a medical condition. Yeah, cool. Are the Dorito stained fingertips a medical condition? No. Or is the wearing the hoodie indoors medical, Mairead? No. Is the old 2-litre fucking Cano Monster at the bus stop? It's always, do you know what I mean? It's always, oh yeah, he smells a BO. It could be a medical condition. Is it listening to My Chemical Romance at the age of 36? Is the black eyeshadow? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what illness that is. Well, I do. I suffer from it myself. It's called isolation of the soul, Miriam. It's called issues with self-love and self-compassion. It's too early for this madness. French teacher, she's getting down to her bra. Brilliant.
Right message, wrong delivery.
Exactly. It's like whenever in my school, we realised at the age of 14 that we had never had sexual guidance. We'd never had sexual ed as a class. Yeah. One of the dads offered to do it to himself. That seems fine, except for it was in the car park before school started. And it went on for about 3 weeks until the police got involved. I should have known he was a spoofer. He made me the captain of a sport that didn't even exist. Badminton golf. What was I thinking? What? Honey,
So we had this geography teacher. So went to secondary school in Rathmines, and the year I did my leaving was 2001. So just to kind of give it perspective, it was an all-girls school. It was still run by the nuns. But we had a geography teacher, and I think he was a music teacher as well, because he'd crack out the guitar, right, in class. But he'd always be singing really sad songs. And in one class, he spent purely singing and crying. And he was bawling his eyes out crying. And he kept telling us, it's okay, girls. Real men cry all the time. So yeah, it was wild.
Again, right message, wrong delivery.
Unbelievable. The crying is too much.
Ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I'm sorry, by the way, men, of course you cry. I cry very frequently. That is not up for debate here or ridicule. It's the context, though.
Not when you're delivering.
Cian, you're supposed to be teaching about the stalagmites. Do you know what I mean? And Oxbow Lake. Why is it that's the only thing anyone remembers? There's no greater feeling, by the way, as an adult, as looking out a plane window going, oh look, Oxbow Lake, and that's where the geographical knowledge
Done.
That's it. Stalagmite, stalactite, could be anything. Could be Aladdin tights for all I bloody care.
Oh,
that's just the wit. In terms of crying teachers, the worst thing that ever happened in my school was when it comes to crying teachers, we were in class one time and we had this guy who was genuinely so nice. He was too nice for this clannish, laddish, fee-paying rugby boys school where just loutish, the language of the yard was misogyny and hate. And he was in class one time and he was always so patient. And one time he lost the head and he threw a copybook at the end of the classroom. And everyone was like, oh my God. And he just stood at the top of the class and started crying. And he goes, guys, that shouldn't have happened and I'm so sorry. I was due to be married next month and my fiancé has pulled it. And the whole room goes completely silent. And then just... and everyone just... It's the worst. I still have shame surrounding it. And everybody just explodes laughing because we don't know how to deal with that emotion. We're not developed yet. We don't know empathy. So everyone just goes, ah! And then someone's like, gay? It's not gay for wanting to marry this woman, Lucas. So then he leaves the room, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh,
skills.
God.
Oh, my God. Boys' skills are
It's just the lack of empathy.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. It was shocking. I don't remember who the kid was that laughed first. Let's go.
Hey, Mark. Right, so essentially, our junior science teacher had an experiment one day. He announced us that he wanted half the class to buy a litre of Pepsi and half the class to buy a litre of water, right, and bring it into class the next day.
And then we got into the class the next day and he said to all, like one side of the class drank the litre of Pepsi, the other side drank the litre of water. And the experiment was to see which side of the class would go to the toilet first and how many of each side of the class will go to the toilet. And then he also gave a kind of a portion of each side, a jug, like one of those measuring jugs. And to measure how much urine has come out, like, essentially. I can't remember how he labelled the experiment or what was the reason behind it. And the mad thing as well, looking back on it, was like, he didn't even buy the litre of Pepsi and the litre of water for each side of the class. Like, he made us go out and buy and bring in the litre of Pepsi and water into the class ourselves, and then he made us do this insane experiment. And I can't remember the reason behind it, but I just remember we've always looked back on it and thought it was a bit mental.
Yeah, okay, this is like, good God.
It is mental.
The stinginess is the least concerning thing here. I also think we should just stop using terms like experiment. So let's just forget, there's no science here. I forgot the name of the actual study. There was no study. There was no science. Sponsored by mums. Sorry? That laugh is not a good one. Anyway, but you know, you just, there's nothing scientific about wanting to get, no, this is a surreptitious bit of perversion. This guy clearly has a penchant for urine related.
Very niche.
It's not as niche as you think.
Really?
Yeah, they released a document and it's got all the highest porn searches in the country.
Okay.
And like, I think Dublin is like MILFs, Cork and Kerry is like BDSM, Roscommon is unprintable. If I was to repeat the top searches in Roscommon, I would be cancelled. Let's just say it's not the British Broadcasting Corporation, and they're not the only letters involved. Okay. No, but that's... Sorry.
Yeah.
Teacher, top of class. Morning, boys. Morning, Mr. O'Riordan. How are you, lads? Listen, just going to divide you... could we form a Moses-like gap in the centre of the room, please? Excellent. Oisin, no tricking at the back. Lucas, watch the snot. Brilliant. Okay, I want everyone to go down to the shops now, and I want you on the left to come back with Pepsi. Yeah, buying Pepsi, very unconventional choice of cola, but we'll allow it. And you on the right, bottles of water. Grand. Now I want everyone to come back, okay? And then I've got these measuring jugs off Temu. Brilliant. And I want all of you to pee in them. Sorry. Just, I want everyone to pee. No, don't worry. It's science. This is Marie Curie. She was born in the G8 somewhere. If you just, everyone take your little willies out and... Do you know what I mean?
In the beaker. Everyone in the beaker.
In the beaker. And if you can position yourself, there's a camera. No. Do you know what I mean? This is the least scientific approach. Actually, don't worry about, you're like, no, it's just complete madness. Looking back on it was a bit weird. No, it was, come on, Columbo.
Have the awareness at 15 that is weird.
You don't need fucking, like, SVU to realise this isn't a cold case worth crack. This is, in the moment, this was bananas. I don't know what else to say. What? Okay, do carbonated sweetened beverages make you piss more? Yes.
Obviously.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You don't need to do some sort of like symphony of
career ending
willy related good luck.
Hi Mark, just with the whole crazy teacher thing. Basically my son was in 4th class. He came home one day. I opened the door to him and like after school, and he straight away asked me what my measurement of my vagina was.
No.
I nearly had a heart attack. His teacher was a women's lib kind of loon. And I don't know how she got a job in an all-boys school, but she clearly did. Lasted a year and was gone. It was basically Women's Day on that day in school, and she explained how tough us women have it, which I do agree.
Yeah.
But fair enough to her. But she went on to explain childbirth, vagina measurements, prior and during and, post childbirth. Hence my poor son wondering what measurement my vagina was at when he came home. So, yeah. There's a lot of other loony stories from that teacher, and I will come up with them, but for now, that's one. And, yeah.
Okay, she's attached a diagram here. Is that? 3 things that I definitely, absolutely, unequivocally never need to know the measurement of. The size of my willy on a cold day.
Okay.
The distance between me and a live rat at any stage.
Totally with you on that one.
Walk around the city. And the length and breadth of my mother's vulva. I don't know if I'm going to die a happy man, but whatever state in which I die in, I would be comfortable for that state to be preserved without the knowledge of the width, the diameter, the girth of my mother's. And that is the bottom effing line. I don't care how, if that makes me resemble a sort of Piers Morgan, divisive, contrarian, meat-headed, red-faced, boiled ham, archaic dinosaur of the modern world, my existence is perfectly content and manageable without the knowledge of the inner workings of my mother's clitoral hood. And hood stuff. It's just, guys... Oh, hi, Mrs. Malloy. It's Malloy to you. Do you like my new purple hair? You don't need to. It's always there. Anyway, let me sit down in my dungaree. No, we don't need to. But anyway, today we're doing women's liberation class. First up, we've got Rosa Parks, not here with us, of course. She's on the 46A. But anyway, it's been discontinued.
Good stuff.
Yeah. We've got Rosa Parks first. Amazing. Then we're going to talk about the suffragettes. Brilliant. And then we've got Oisin here. Oisin Jones is going to present us with a picture. He's been in touch with his mum's gyno, and he's going to show us a picture of her damn, definitely not vagina. Absolutely insanity.
These guys were in 4th class, Mark.
You need one of those bendy rulers. No. Oh, well, definitely not a compass.
Oh, God.
This is just... It's completely insane. I hope you complained.
I don't even think you do sex ed by then.
What, by the age of 5?
4th class.
Fourth class, you're 8.
You're 9 to 10.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're 15. The old Tara and Ben, stage 2, once they introduced the dog Holly and the friend Connor, you were fucked. Too many moving parts. Nevertheless, on y va. Oh, guys, I hope you're enjoying the weekly roast. It is my favourite time of the week. It's great to be sitting here talking to you. Very briefly, before I continue, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for listening to the show of late, and welcome to all of the new listeners. There are so many of you, and yeah, since Offaly, we've basically been breaking all of our listener records, which is just class. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for listening. If you're enjoying the show, the best thing you can do to help us continue to grow is to subscribe and follow to the podcast wherever you're listening to it right now, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, GoLoud, whatever. Just click follow or subscribe or whatever the button is, and that really helps. I think you can review the pod as well or rate it. Also, if you send an episode, share the episode with a pal of yours if you're enjoying it. And it will be a great way of saying thank you when you're enjoying the podcast. And of course, most importantly, Jesus bloody Christ, before I forget, send me a message on Instagram at Megan Mark. Let me know if you enjoy the show, if you have any ideas for future eps, or if there's anything you want to talk about in your life. Send me a message on Instagram at Megan Mark. Okay, part 2 of Crazy Teachers. Hold on to your hats, guys. This whole episode is just back-to-back bloody madness. So let's get into it. Okay, let's go.
Hey Mark, so remember back in the day when you were in class and you were caught messing or talking or whatever, you were made stand up, and maybe that was for 20 minutes or whatever. Unfortunately, there was a guy in our class who was in a wheelchair, and our teacher, whenever he was caught messing or talking or whatever, obviously he wasn't able to stand up, so our teacher made him do laps of the class for him as a punishment. So, don't know if that's a weird teacher or just he didn't want to discriminate, but Yeah, laps of the classroom instead of standing up.
Of course it's a weird teacher. This isn't Mondello, like. This is complete madness.
He didn't want to discriminate. He is discriminating.
He's literally. He needs to be auto-banned from teaching.
Oi.
No, do you know what I mean? And if that happened in my school, by the way, you'd have dickheads with those metallic rulers sticking in the spokes. Genuinely. Like, this is just... Oh, I don't want to discriminate, so I'm going to get... I was about to say wheelchair boy, which is just outrageous. But, like... I don't want to discriminate, so we're just going to get Simon to do... What time is it now? Okay, if you 5 laps, and we've got the bell for lunch at 11, so maybe 6. And go easy in those corners, Simon. Do you know what I mean? Don't knock over the 4-leaf clovers for Patrick's Day. This is absolute... Or the little shamrock things in the yogurt pot. Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah.
What was it again? Was it moss? What was it? Anyway, yeah, it's completely insane. And it is discrimination.
Of course it is.
Sorry, the way of non-discrimination would be just say, Simon, you're going to have to stop talking, mate. Not acknowledge to the class. Hiya, Simon. Listen, you're doing a bit of chatting there now. Obviously, you don't have the use of your legs. Do you know what I mean? That's the first red flag. The second one is, so let me think. What's fair? I'm just going to wheel you there 1 sec. What'll I do with you now? Okay, off you go. Just do a few laps. Like, that is completely outrageous. He should be struck off.
Teachers, though, get away with this. Like, they have a power sometimes that
Yeah.
they need to be held more accountable for.
Absolutely.
100, like, and obviously a lot of teachers, most teachers, I would say, are very well intended.
Yeah.
But the ones who do get off on those power trips, they are dangerous.
Shocking. Okay, let's go.
So this is a small secondary school in Offaly. The principal was there until I was in TY or 5th year, I think. She was blind. Not fully blind, but definitely had a vision impairment. So she would walk around our main area, but people used to go on the mitch, but you'd mitch like within the school because she wouldn't even see you.
No.
But I just remember one time one of my friends fainted and was brought I was with her and was brought into the principal's office to wait for her mum to come and pick her up, and the principal was just sitting in there with her feet up on the desk and was just smoking fags, and then whipped out this bottle of wine.
No.
And proceeded to drink it, and the room was it just smelled like smoke. And I just remember going home that evening and my mum nearly killed me. So I would have been only in like maybe 1st or 2nd year. My uniform just stank of like cigarette smoke. And yeah, she just didn't believe me that I was the principal. Sitting in her office all day, smoking fags and drinking.
Okay, hold on a second here. Like, so, first and foremost, the fact that she's visually impaired has got nothing to do with this story, okay? But you're also definitely exaggerating, saying, oh, we used to ditch school in the school because she was visually... She's not walking around like blind man's buff. Do you know what I mean? Feeling her way out of the staff room like she's a fucking with a piñata. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Marco! You know what I mean? Polo! Like, the woman is visually impaired. She's not a cartoon character. She's not a 1995 zombie on Cartoon Network. Do you know what I mean? Going around the halls. Is that there? Oh, yeah, then. No. Do you know what I mean? Okay, better go back to the office and load up on the old Dunhills. Like, it's not true. She's not that. Like, it's fucking insanity. Swanning her, feeling the, oh, what am I feeling there? And she's grabbing the 2 breasts of the senior nun. Oh no, how could this happen? And the nun's just standing there with the pus in her face. You know, it's just such a load of bollocks, like.
Such a ridiculous...
Oh, guys, do you fancy this in school on Thursday? Yeah, where'd she go to? Just the hallway. Why is that?
Behind the principal.
Yeah, just stand. If we stand within 3 feet of her forearms, we won't get caught. What's the purpose of that then? Just, you're in school. Go to school. And then the smoking inside with the feet up. That's what principals did. People smoked on flights up until like 2001.
Yeah.
So, that's... And then they're whipping out the ball. It's all just codology. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. I'm dismissing this one. This one's going in the bin. Let's go. On y va.
All right. So speaking of crazy teacher stories, I went to school in America and I had this math teacher in high school who was just kind of an asshole to everyone, like would insult students and all that. But one day he randomly got escorted out by the police and we were all like, what the fuck? And the thing is that in my school district, you could get something called tenure. So basically they couldn't fire you unless the state intervened. And the details of his dismissal were made public. And we found out that he was escorted off the premises and subsequently fired because he had asked a student to help him download porn onto his work computer and then bribe the student with cinema gift cards so that he wouldn't tell anyone. And obviously he told.
This is just as if American skills don't have enough to be worrying about.
Here, Simon, come over here there for a second. Sit down there. Do you see that the Internet Explorer? Now, how would you be able to get porn there? Would you be able to... Have you ever seen Flubber 2? Do you fancy going to see the Fast and the Furious? Like,
It's completely fucking... No man, let's be completely honest, no man or woman has ever needed help sourcing pornography. It's an instinctual awareness that human beings are born with. And as soon as somebody is given, I would say that there has to be a statistic, right? That as soon as every human being has been presented with their first ever electronic device, a timer starts. And I'd love to know what the average length of time is before they go, okay, we've got access to the internet. We search for tits. Do you know what I mean? Like, every human being.
It's possibly the easiest thing to attain in the world.
Comfortably, without a shadow of a doubt.
Easily.
So this guy deserves to be locked up with the key tossed a unit of 6 maternal vaginal lengths away. Do you know what I mean? A complete deviant.
I had a similar experience, would you believe?
Oh, God.
So I was doing volunteering about 10 years ago.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we
Greta.
go. Yeah.
Go on.
How dare you?
Is that her accent?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Oh, so I'm bad at accents, am I? Good stuff.
I could do a great Greta.
Yeah.
Go on, you go first with your story.
Yeah. So I was helping this gentleman set up his email so he could, contact his grandkids in Australia, do all the standard stuff.
Okay, but did you meet him at like the Ballet Lewis stop, or was he a friend of the family?
It was a program that, my old employer...
Oh, sorry, he was volunteering. Excuse me.
Yeah. I was doing, anyway. So we set up his laptop. Yeah, Jerry, you do this, you do that, blah, blah, blah. We go into Google Chrome. He didn't know what incognito was. So virtually every letter that I typed up would spawn a previous search. But it was the most innocent stuff ever. So I think at one stage it was like, Japanese nurses make love.
That's innocent. That's so fucking niche.
But it wasn't like the BBC stuff that you were mentioning.
Japanese nurses
make love. That was the one that stands out to me.
Did you do much time in Tokyo, Jer? The obsession and the over-sexualisation / fetishisation of Japanese people, I've just never understood it. Oh, she's a Japanese schoolgirl. Sorry? How is that a thing? Oh, good luck.
Yeah, awful.
Have I ever? No, not did it. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so first year in secondary school, mixed school, in technical drawing, and the teacher came down the back of the class and asked me what gets bigger as you suck it.
Oh my God.
I'm looking at him like, really? And he said, the hole in your vomit. Okay, bye.
The hole in your polo mint. Graham, if you wouldn't mind just putting the compass and the permanent marker down for a second. The police are here. They want to have a couple of words with you. Unforgivable. The fact that there's like a half-decent punchline does not absolve you from making lewd and sexually inappropriate comments to your students. It's always... If you, let's be honest, if you were to get a lineup of teachers... I would say the disciplines that are the closest to profound horniness are the woodworkers, the tech drawers, and the PE teachers.
Without question.
They would be the 3. Woodworking, okay, you smoke hash.
Yeah.
We know that if you teach woodworking classes, you smoke hash. Probably on the job.
Yeah.
Tech drawing as well. They're
in it for the holidays, I'd say.
Oh, I don't know if that's fair. They work bloody hard. Okay, let's go.
So it happened at our pre-debs, and one of the lads pulled someone else's bird in the same year. So your man doesn't come in for a couple of days, and eventually our teacher asks where he is, and everyone's kind of quiet and not really says anything. And then one of the lads pipes up and says, yeah, your man's pulled his bird, and he's just a bit upset. He's at home, and eventually he comes in, and we have a double business class. And the teacher goes over to the other double geography class, pulls the guy out to our class, brings him in, and he assigns everyone roles for the double business class. So we had like 2 lawyers, one to defend each lad, a jury, and our teacher was the fucking judge.
Of course, by the way.
We spent about an hour going over everything. But in fairness, the lads they made up afterwards, so, win-win.
Mental. This is a man who just, as by the way, is not uncommon, I feel like, in these private fee-paying schools, where there's always like a guy, usually an ex-student, who just has these lofty ambitions of being, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm kind of with the teacher in terms of no, not the topic. The topic is dreadful. I kind of like the way he's taking a practical approach to learning. You don't do it over like who got with who when they're kids. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I kind of like though that he's making learning fun.
Yeah, that's true. If they were learning more about though, like, oh, you snogged my missus, like, the fact that he's the judge is just. That's real me age 8. That's me age 9 vibes with all my cousins.
Yeah,
okay, guys, we're doing a play. I am both the opera and the phantom. Guys, we're going to do a little family version of Les Mis, but this is like one of those Eddie Murphy movies where I play every character. You're all behind the scenes. And then you also are the audience. And then we're going to get the parents in. And if you fucking so much as interrupt me when I'm doing Teddy Biogalin, I will kill one of you. Simon, I'll tell your mum that you wet the bed again, even though it was me. Wore dry nights till the age of 13. Let's go. Guys, I hope you're enjoying the weekly roast. It is relatively bananas, and it's going to continue because we have some more insane stories to be telling you. The good news also is that the bonus is going to be coming a very, very regular occurrence. So if you've any ideas as to what you'd like in a bonus show for the weekly roast, let me know. There are lots of ideas percolating here between us, but I want to hear from you. So hit me up on Instagram at @MeganMark with any of your thoughts. I'm sort of exploring the quiz idea because I know we did some of the quiz stuff at the beginning of the year, but I want the bonus episode to be a completely different offering altogether than this roast. So let me know what your thoughts are on Instagram at @MeganMark. Now, however, we are here, the final section. It's pretty loose. Let's get into it.
Good morning. So my teacher was a real meanie. She used to, rather than tell me to get up from my seat or stand up or whatever she wanted me to do, she would literally come over and lift me up from my seat by my side locks.
No.
And I'm a woman, so I don't really have side locks. So whatever bit of hair she could find, she'd pull at that and pull me up out of my seat that way. So I thought I'd get revenge. And one day during little break, I put a pin in her seat. But as I said in my previous message, there was a lot of cushioning there, and I'm talking about her arse. So I doubt she felt it. Anyway, she was a meanie, a real meanie.
Okay, but we won't be having a go at her for having a big arse. That's got nothing to... If you have any pictures for it, no. Brilliant. Okay, so the pulling up by the locks.
Assault.
It's completely ludicrous. This isn't Matilda.
No.
Do you know what I mean? You can't just get away with this with a funny appearance by Daniel DeVito. Do you know what I mean? There was a guy in our class, and... he was a genuine serial liar. Okay. It was relentless, the stuff that he lied about. And he came into school one Monday and he had his sideburns badly shaved off.
Right.
So assumingly free gaff.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Standard.
And he told us that the reason why his side looks, there was 2 lies that he did. The first one that he tried was the reason why his sideburns are shaved off was that he was riding his bird. And she was so overcome. He didn't have a bird, by the way.
Okay.
He didn't have a girlfriend. She was so overcome with passion that she ripped him off. as she was straddling him. Oh, Shane! Oh, yoink! Oh, you nipped those clean off, Sarah.
This symmetrical removal.
You managed to grasp. What fine little fingers you have, Sabrina. The fact that you managed to tear these. Just don't stop. Ding. I was going to get a haircut on Tuesday. Don't need to. Just going to ride my missus. The other one.
Go on.
He was a prop, right?
Yeah.
And he said that he was playing a rugby match against Barn Hall, and the prop from the other team in the scrum, beneath the scrum cap, just crouch, touch, good luck, liars. On y va. We should do a roast of fucking what it's called? Compulsive liars. Let's go.
We had such a lovely teacher when I was 16 in transition year. This, I don't know, some sort of health and social class or something. It was the biggest waste of time. But she was a stickler for the rules, and I had my nose pierced, and she didn't like that. But usually I just had a bar with no stud on it in my nose for school, and she couldn't really say anything. The kind of teacher that, like, if you had a necklace glinting underneath your shirt, she'd give out to you, you know. And I stupidly forgot to replace it with my stud for school one morning. And she thought she'd make, I suppose, some sort of example out of me, and took me to the top of the room. I wasn't sure she was going to get me to draw something on the board or something stupid. And she put her fingers on my nose and reefed the stud out of my nose. And for anyone that doesn't know, when you have a nose stud in your nose, it has a little ball on the inside, or a bend. So obviously the little stud doesn't fall out of your nose, but she ripped it out and mine had a little ball. So she trebled the size of the hole, basically pulling it out. And obviously I screamed, other people screamed. There was blood coming all down my face, onto my white shirt, blood all over her hand. I think she was quite shocked too. And they had to call an ambulance, because obviously it was an accident or whatever that happened on the premises. And my mother was called, it was a whole thing. And although they cleaned down whatever when I got there, and they were like, we can't stitch it or anything, like it's your nose, it's just tough. So I've got a scar to this day because of that bitch's monkey hands, because she infected me as well.
Oh. Okay, well, like, I would probably be the least litigious person that I know. Sue the fucker.
Absolutely.
That's like...
Unless this was like literal generations ago.
Which you couldn't have been.
No.
Even now, I'd be going straight.
Gone, yeah.
You have a scar still from the time that you were physically violently assaulted by a... But what?
We're talking about a child being assaulted here, and you have to just throw in a little gag. A bit of decorum, Mr. Megan, please.
You know, oh my God. Do you have any piercings?
I did, and I had a few in school.
You strike me as one of those weird freaks that's like, oh yeah, you know that lovely, jolly, friendly guy, Michael? Yeah. He has a Royal Albert, or what are those things called?
Prince Albert.
See, you knew it fucking quick enough, didn't it? You fell right into the honey trap, you dirty bastard.
Oh, your English is very good.
Yeah.
Great Escape, Mark.
Oh,
yeah, film. You like film?
I do like films, yeah. Oh, Kitty's got claws.
Oh, Mark.
Okay, go on. Tell us about your piercings, Michael.
What did I have? I went through a phase during my drinking times of piercing my ears a lot, which wasn't great myself.
Doing them yourself?
Oh, like regularly. Yeah, yeah.
Why regularly?
Because I was a severe attention seeker and I drank problematically.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck.
No, I had lips done in school.
Did you?
I had my lip done twice. I still have a little scar there.
So you were full blown, like, okay.
Oh yeah, Asha level. Like.
Yeah, well, I was Asha. I was big Asha boutique, but I just never went to that level.
I had like a skins fade. I had a skins phase.
Yeah. As in the TV show?
Yeah.
Box set from Skins.
Yeah, misunderstood.
Yeah. Who were you? Cook?
Oh, yeah, big time.
I was Effie, so... more glamorous in my dysfunction.
I was just more tragic.
I was troubled, but, you know, there was a sophistication.
Okay, yeah.
To the fuck.
You were layered.
Yeah, exactly.
In school I got into a lot of trouble for piercings. I don't know, did your school have a strict dress code?
Our school was ridiculously conservative. No long hair, no bleached hair, no nice hair. I had like, yeah, it was ridiculous. Carry on.
We had like the
No self-expression, effectively.
absolutely no.
You weren't allowed. Sorry to interrupt you. We weren't allowed to wear jackets that weren't school issue jackets and everything. It was
it was awful.
Yeah,
I was the exact same. We had, the first day of school every year, you would be called into an assembly hall, and like the dean of your year would pick you up, or not pick you up.
Yeah,
he would select you, and if you had like any sort of bleach, you'd be gone.
Something that the listeners won't know: you had really long hair,
very long hair,
like Pocahontas levels.
Yeah. No, I did the 2007 surfer dude thing for like a while, but no, in like
the fucking holiday beads around the neck,
and the coronas, yeah.
The worst, by the way, the worst in the history of aural sound. Your mother angrily stacking the dishwasher and music by the Coronas. Is the old day jingle now? Do you? You don't look like you do. No. Fuck you. Let's go.
So, my French teacher was known for not liking me. I really pushed his buttons. And to one day, he responded by throwing the chalkboard eraser at me. And obviously, my mum wasn't too happy about this. So, she arranged for a meeting to go in and confront him. And he spent the whole meeting staring at her boobs. So, when she came home, I said to her, well, how to get on. I was shitting it. I didn't know how it was going to be the outcome of it. And she was not angry at me for provoking the man to throw an eraser at me. She was more angry at him for staring at her boobs for the whole entire meeting. So it's safe to say we did not have a very good relationship for my whole experience of secondary school French.
Okay. So, yeah. All round. I mean, I sort of want to see the boobs now.
Yeah.
Because they obviously are that, stare-worthy.
They're impressive, yeah.
This guy sounds like a dickhead. You can't be also the throwing things. What is just terrifying is like you are literally, this is your job to maintain an even enough temperament.
Yeah.
And like, I think it used to always drive me crazy was some of the things that was like the teacher said to me in school are so outrageous looking back that I'm like, I was 14 years of age. You were the adult.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to maintain your fucking cool and not go absolutely outrageous and say something horrific to a child.
I think teachers can either have the best or worst impact on you. Like, they are so influential at that time.
The best teachers I had, I still remember, and genuinely the influence and effect that they had of me still carries me through different situations.
Yeah.
The worst teachers that I remember on bad days will still be a voice in my head.
Completely.
So there you go, teachers.
Yeah.
Best and the worst. Just like parents. Let's go.
Hi Mark, so back in the mid-90s when Cheese Strings just came out, our teacher, who by the way was an absolute weapon, everybody hated her, was terrified of her, she was just not a nice person, completely nasty. Anyway, she came in one day and gave cheese strings out to the whole class because they were just after coming onto the scene. Anyway, she gave us all cheese strings. That night, chaos ensued. The whole class was up vomiting. Everyone got food poisoning from these cheese strings. And we discovered that the cheese strings were out of date. And, nasty.
Okay, is the inference here that the teacher intentionally poisoned the kids with slightly out of date cheese strings, like? Because this is just...
Cheese strings could give you food poisoning if they are in date. Like, they're food.
I was a big fan of cheese strings.
Are you?
Making the little man out of them.
Oh,
that was it. And then you'd give him a dick and that would be the end of it. That was always the way. Any opportunity to fashion a phallus out of anything. Snow, chairs, phalluses.
Everywhere.
The Holy Trinity. Like is the suggestion here that this teacher was like, she encounters out of date cheese strings and go, there you go. That's my way.
Put them in a nice room temperature area for a day or two just to really get them going.
I'll sit on them. I'll place them beneath the keister as I'm watching the Chase omnibus. Just so they get that real stank on. There's no way. By the way, cheese strings are surely so synthetic that whether they're a week or a year out of date, it doesn't matter. You're just inhaling toxins anyway.
Yeah, that's like end of the world food. Like you could store them with.
Like Twinkies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great.
Not great.
Do you guys remember Smooth and Juicy?
Smooth and Juicy was the night. Sorry, what an unbelievable time to choose your input. I fucking love Smooth and Juicy. Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Connor, Smooth and Juicy was the nicest drink of all time.
Yeah, so there was a case was delivered to our primary school, and there was one young fella, he drank about 6 of them and then took the largest, like 2-foot long turd in the bathroom and called us in one by one. Have a look at this, lads, have a look at this. That's Smooth and Juicy there now. That was
You're saying taking it like he's laying an egg or something. he
Percolated.
That is mental. So the Smooth and Juicy was an orange juice with calcium in it.
With milk?
Yeah, but it wasn't actual milk. It was actually just calcium, I think. But the taste that, I think it was Avonmore, or was it, yeah, I think it was Avonmore. Somebody let me know. But the taste was like, it was like creamy orange juice. Fuck me, it was the nicest thing on earth. They discontinued it because apparently these like oblong, foot-long poos that the boys of Ireland were doing. Also, being called into a cubicle to look at a poo. You haven't grown up in Ireland or anywhere if that just hasn't happened to you. There was also a phantom pooer in our school.
A phantom pooer?
Yeah, so he just lay these poos around. Genuinely. It was like the most miserable Easter egg hunt of all time. Warmer. Oh, very hot.
There's one of them in this building as well, boys.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there are, yeah.
I was always wondering why... No, I was about to say something outrageous. That would have gotten HR involved. Is there one in here though?
Oh yeah, there's somebody who's definitely proud of their turds. They just leave it in the bowl. And
there's someone here who has the same. No, actually, you can't. This is so outrageous. Okay, lads, you were flying with Smooth and Juicy, and now you're bringing poo into the mix. Let's go.
Hi Mark, just a little story about a teacher I had in school. So she used to always put her hands, like rest her hands on top of one another down in front of her crotch. And we used to always notice her having a little scratch every so often. This happened like all throughout the year, I think through 3rd and 4th class. And now as I'm older, I realise that she was probably having hair regrowth from a shave or wax down there. But we used to think it was funny and gross in equal measures back 30 years ago.
I mean, hopefully she's gotten it sorted by now, but like, it can't have been going on. That's not just a bad haircut, lads.
No.
If you're religiously scratching the minge, you know, minge you just can't use as a phrase. What is the best word to call a vagina? Can somebody, like, what word for the vagina that isn't as formal as the vagina would people like? It doesn't come up in conversation all the time, of course, but like, what's a colloquialism for vagina that's acceptable for a male to use? You use puss, don't you? Connor uses Wendy. We used to use Wendy growing up.
Did you?
Yeah, and I remember Stephen Kelly, a guy that lived in my estate, shout out Stephen Kelly, one time telling him about a Wendy, and he was like, Mom! She was like, yes? And he was like, she was upstairs, and he was like, Mark Megan says that girls' willies are called Wendy's.
my willie was called Charlie, by the way.
Was it?
Charlie.
Charlie.
I've been sorry. For the love of all that is holy, I hope you were the one to give it that name.
Oh, my mum would have said that, yeah.
Actually.
Don't be playing with your Charlie now. Just go to the bathroom. Yeah.
Best of luck in the leaving, the week before the leaving.
I wonder as well, why was it always the British gentry, like Willie, Charlie, Dick,
Yes.
Richard?
Yeah.
Why do we refer to our appendage with the British gentry in mind?
Yeah, that's a very good question. It's much better than though, show us your phelan. Give us a look at your paw there.
Get a little Seamus out.
Your cheese string.
Oh, fuck. We all just take our dicks out. That's pretty much every male podcast. That's what it fucking... every single white male podcast in the world, you can, like, somewhat maintain the masquerade of chat, but it eventually comes into... We all just get our cocks out. I think the teacher clearly had crabs.
Completely, yeah.
Or something. I remember I was in LA when I was like 16 and I thought I got to do the LA thing. So I shaved my pubes in the shower with a Mach 3, one of those hotel ones that came. I didn't realise you had to use shaving foam. I swear to God, it was like the forest of the fruits. My pubic region was horrific. I couldn't, no, I still managed to, but like I could barely touch myself for weeks. As if that stopped me. Crying, blood slattering everywhere. The room looking like a fucking Francis Bacon piece. Like,
if there's one thing Megan gets
if there's one thing Megan does, it's touching his phelan. Let's go, lads and dicks.
Hi Mark, hope all is well. Loved the pod.
I guess this is my Offaly story, and it's convenient that your roast is teachers today because I've not seen this person in 2 years, literally until I got the train to Dublin. Today, I bumped into this person. Anyways, my first year as an NQT, a newly qualified teacher, was teaching in a rural enough school in Offaly. I'll leave it vague enough. And anyways, yeah, just matched with the local nurse on Tinder and met up with her one evening after work, and then met up with her a couple of times, or more than a couple of times before teaching the local 5th and 6th class. Never mind you were Vive Active, that gave me the boost I needed to get through that year, and yeah, that was a fun time.
It's an interesting morning crossroads, isn't it? Will I have the Baraka? Will I shag the local nurse? Do you know, it's not really a Sophie's choice though, is it? Like, I love the way he doesn't want to give away where it is, but he's like, well, we live in a tiny town in Offaly and we have a local nurse. That's a very small...
You've reduced the catchment to very narrow areas.
The fact that there is the local nurse,
yeah,
like it means it's a very, very small place.
Yeah.
There's nothing really bad about this.
Yeah.
Other than you you're just having sex. You know it's okay to have sex, Eamon. There's nothing wrong with you producing your Rupert and inseminate. No. What do you think?
I think if we've learned anything in the pod over the last few weeks,
there's lots of mid-morning intercourse happening.
Midland, mid-morning.
I think, okay, here's something for you. I think we might need to go back down to Offaly and just do another special on Offaly, and we'll call it not truly madly what we call it, Offaly,
Awfully horny.
I prefer the stuff you do about the juice. I think we should go back down to Offaly and basically do a little tour of Offaly and get the greatest Offaly stories. So the witching hours, the sexual witching hours in the Midlands are obviously the morning. The school run.
Yeah.
You're either getting groundskeepers getting sucked off or you've got teachers meeting the local nurse for a bit of thrust. I would hate to have sex first thing in the morning. Let me get on with my day. Morning sex is just, on the weekends, fine.
Okay.
Oh, you're looking at me like you enjoy morning sex.
I'm...
You wake up, so let me just paint the picture here. You wake up in your Slipknot jammies.
I get my lip ring out.
Do you sleep in the eye makeup and the white? Yeah. So you turn over, you get Korn Untouchables, great album.
Yeah.
You play that, and then you just roll out. Like, would you be a morning sex guy?
Yeah.
Oh, any time of the day, baby.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What?
Yeah. There's no intermittent fasting in this gaff. That doesn't make sense. There'll be loads of blasting though. Okay, Cian, let's just jump in the sea again. Do a few more High Rocks classes. Yeah, that's the...
We've gone full.
The greatest thing about giving up the jar. What's that? Waking up with a truncheon on me every day. That's the greatest thing. The return of the erection. That's the end. Good luck. Will we go back to Offaly? Let us know. Goodbye. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the weekly roast. I really and truly appreciate it. I just want to say to everyone who's sent the show to their friends recently, just thank you so much. You don't realise the difference that honestly makes. So if you do enjoy it, please share it with someone who you think might get a laugh from it. And also, I just want to say thank you because I got a couple of messages last week that were fairly mind-blowing, particularly from a person whose husband is currently in palliative care. And I was just going to say we're wishing you well. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I won't even try and pretend to imagine how tough your situation is at the moment. But we are delighted that you can have a bit of a laugh and momentary escapism with the show each week. So thank you for listening to everybody. Follow me on Instagram at @MeganMark. Let me know what you want roasted. Send in your thoughts. You can also follow Michael O'Malley on Instagram, and your Instagram is Michael O'Malley. Brilliant. And there you go. Have a great week. Mind yourselves. We'll be back soon with the bonus. Let me know what you want the bonus to be. Take care. See you soon.
Mark Megan's Weekly Roast. Proudly supported by Cialis for Men. Struggling with erectile dysfunction? It's nothing to be ashamed of. Cialis for Men 10mg film-coated tablets, which contains tadalafil, is now available without prescription. Just a quick, discreet chat with your pharmacist, in person or online, can help. Find it at pharmacies nationwide or visit www.cialisformen.ie for more details. To be taken at least 30 minutes prior to anticipated sexual activity. Always read the label.